Christy from Sutherland Decor, and I was just going to show a little project that I'm working on here. I go to the thrift store quite often just to take a look around, see if there's anything I can use, and I had picked this up a while ago. It's one of those old wall little storage things for envelopes. It says letters, bills, miscellaneous. I guess you put your keys or something in it. And it's got these little hooks on the bottom. And I just picked it up because I figured at some point I could do something with it. So today I decided I'm going to do something with it. So I cleaned it real well because it was a little dirty. So I cleaned it up, and I'm going to use some chalk paint. I'm going to use some white chalk paint, and I'm going to just paint the entire thing white. I may have to do I'll do 2 coats on it. And then what I'm going to do, I decided I'm going to make it something for a kitchen, to hang in a kitchen. So I was walking around Hobby Lobby when I came up with the idea to use this, and I knew it had 3 compartments. I found these faux herbs. I found some rosemary, parsley, and sage, and those are the things I'm going to use, because I also knew that I had these stencils. I have the sage, I have the rosemary, and I have the parsley. So I'm going to paint this, and when it's all done, I'm going to put one of the stencils on each of these compartment fronts. I'm going to put sage on one, rosemary on one, and the parsley on one. I'll have to decide how I'm going to do it. I'll probably just do maybe the top half, and then I'll put rosemary, each of the names of the herbs at the bottom probably, and then I'll just take either bits and pieces of this or just the top part and put that on as well. And then I'm going to either fill with moss or something, probably moss, and then I'm going to put these in to each compartment. And I just thought it would be something cute to hang in a kitchen, because I have some herb things hanging in my kitchen. So I thought this might be cute, and a way to use this little old storage little wall decor. I know these were popular a long time ago. It's an old-fashioned item people don't really use anymore, but we can do something with it. So I'm going to paint this whole thing, which will take me a little bit, so did I paint on myself? These little hooks on the bottom, I'm just going to paint over those as well. I'm just going to paint them white. And when I'm completely done, I'm going to wax over this with a wax sealer to seal the paint so it doesn't chip off. It doesn't have to be perfect, because again, I said I'm going to distress it at the end, but I just want to give kind of some good coverage to it. There's lots of things you could do with something like this. You can stencil words on each part and make it your own little storage decor for next to your desk. Or you could make it for a bathroom and just put some decorative flowers in it. Or I even thought it would be cute with some succulents in each one. I'm partial to succulents, so I think that would look really cute as well. And have something stenciled. You could put some fabric on. You could Mod Podge some fabric onto the fronts of these, which would look really cute. Even some burlap, and then stencil something onto the burlap, which might look cute. There's so many ideas you can do with these. I even thought a cute Easter idea or springtime idea would be to put maybe some eggs, some faux eggs in here with some greenery moss, with some eggs in one, and then maybe with some cute little carrots in the middle one, and then maybe with a bunny butt up here using a large pom-pom and a little pom-pom just sticking out of there with the bunny feet, which would be kind of cute too. I'm not going to worry too much about painting the inside. I'll paint the top part of the inside, but I'm not going to worry about going way into it and spending time doing that, because I know I'm going to fill these with something that will hide probably from the bottom up to at least here. So I'm not going to worry too much. I'll just go down in a little bit. This is going to need 2 coats since it's a dark wood. It's not covering the words very well on this first coat, which I expected, but okay, I finished painting it the way I want it, remembering that I'm going to distress it when I'm completely done. And now it's time to put on the stencils on the front of each little compartment. So I decided I'm going to put the sage at the top because the sage is the tallest, so I don't want it covering any of the fronts of these compartments. So I'm going to put the sage at the top. So I have my sage stencil, and I'm going to see, I'm going to have to do it in 2 parts. I'll kind of eyeball it. I'm going to put the word at the bottom. I'm going to use black paint, black chalk paint, and I need one of these. It's almost like a credit card. I'm going to dip it in the paint, and I'm going to try not to use too much because I need to use the top of the stencil as well, and I'm going to try and do it so I don't have to wash the stencil before I can do both parts. Let's see if it works. I decided on black because I could have used green, like a sagey green, but I figured since the herbs, the faux herbs are green, I didn't want it to compete with those, so I figured I'll just do it in black. Now I stenciled on sage, which looks good. Now I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I'm going to hit it with the heat gun for a second, just so I can... so I can use the rest of the stencil immediately, and I don't have to wait for drying time. So, since I don't have a lot of room, I'm going to kind of play with this a little bit. I don't know if I should... I guess I can do it to the side to get the most of the herb on there. Play with it a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think that'll look kind of nice. And then that way I get the whole herb on there. And I'll play with the other ones the same way. Now, get that a little bit more because I'm going to need a little more paint for this part because it's a little bit bigger of a stencil, this area. And these are silk screen type stencils, so they come out with a lot of detail and they don't bleed like the regular stencils. They are adhesive, so I'm going to peel it off as soon as I'm done, and I need to wash it so that the paint doesn't dry in the screen. So, almost done with this one here. Make sure you get into all parts of the stencil. And that looks good. Yep. I'm going to peel this off and I'm going to run to the sink to wash the stencil. Make sure it doesn't get ruined. And there we go. There's the sage. Okay, so the sage pocket is done. And now I'm going to put the parsley in the center. So I'm going to do the parsley stencil next. I'm going to start out again with the word on the bottom. Try and center it. And get it close to the bottom like the sage so it's similar to what I did with the sage. That looks about right. Okay, and I still have some paint on here, so I'm just going to use that because I don't want to get too much paint on the stencil. I'm just pushing the paint through the holes in the screen. It's a very fine screen in the stencil, and you just use something like this, like a credit card, to push it through. I'm going to peel that off. There we go, parsley, and I'm going to hit it with the heat gun. That should be enough. I'm going to put this part of the stencil. Now, let me see. Not sure exactly. I'm going to have to probably... I'm just not going to do this leaf on the bottom. So let's see how that comes out. Put a little more. Work quickly. Now, one of the leaves I'm not going to stencil because it will go right through the word. So I'm going to try to be real careful. And I can always touch up the white paint if I'm not as careful as I want to be. So, there we go. Okay, I think I got it. Let's see how it came out. It's very sticky. Okay. Whoop. Okay, so I have the sage, the parsley, and the bottom one's the only one left, and that will be the rosemary. So I'm going to put the word on first, same as I did with the others, and try to get it centered. Okay, I'm going to put this in the back so that it doesn't stick to the piece. Okay. Okay, that's done. All right, now this one I have to do a little figuring, a little more figuring, because the stencil is very large for what I'm doing this on. So I may just, I think what I'm going to do is put it, oh, I didn't hit it with the heat gun. Good thing I didn't stick it. That was close. That would have been a mess. Okay. I think I'm going to just try and do it around the word. Might be a little tricky, but try it. I'm gonna put this back here so I don't have to worry about it sticking to anything. And let's see. Whoops, almost lost it. That would have been funny. Okay. Okay. This one's a little tricky. I hope it comes out looking all right because I'm trying to keep it away from the word, but also not make it look like I just kind of cut it off in a weird spot. I think you'll see what I mean when I pull this off. We'll see. This one may... This might come out a little funny looking. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's all right. It's extremely sticky. This is, I think, the first time I've used
And what happened to the stove
these.
part?
Okay, we did it. I think it came out nice. There's the rosemary, parsley, and sage.